Go open your inbox right now. I don't want you to look at your sent folder or some fancy swipe file, but your actual messy inbox. Look at the cold emails you decided to open and the ones you deleted without a second thought. You didn't even read those ignored ones because you didn't have to. You just felt something was off, so you move on to the next thing. That gut feeling is the whole game. Most people try to fix their subject lines by looking for a magic template or a list of best practices. The truth is that your own inbox already has every answer you need. You know exactly what a real email feels like compared to the mass send because you're a buyer too. Your prospect has that same instinct and it fires off a warning in their brain before they ever click your message. By the time we are done here, you will know exactly which signals trip that alarm and what actually makes the right person think this is for them. You need to start with one simple test for every email you send. Ask yourself if a real client, a coworker, or a friend who actually knows you would ever send this subject line. If the answer is no, then your subject line is already broken and you are losing money. When you run that test on the most common mistakes people make, they fail immediately. One of the biggest mistakes is putting someone's first name right in the subject line. It looks personal when you are building the list, but real people almost never do that when they write to each other. Your friend doesn't email you saying, "Hey Sergio, quick question," because they just write "quick question" and hit send. The moment a prospect sees their own name in that subject line, their brain flags it as a computer trick. The same thing happens when you use the company name. A subject line like Acme Co. Plus faster pipelines reads like a software output because that is exactly what it is. It tells the reader that this email exists because a tool found a match, not because a human being actually thought about their business. You also have to watch out for M dashes because they are a huge red flag now. ChatGPT loves using them, and prospects are starting to recognize that pattern as a sign that AI wrote the note. Length is another big factor you have to get right. A subject line that runs too long starts to look like a paid advertisement. While real emails between real people stay short, 2 to 4 words is the natural range for a specific person who has a specific reason to reach out to you. There's one more thing most people miss, and that is the preview text. You can write a clean and short subject line, but then ruin it by starting your email with "just following up" or "circling back." Your prospect sees both of those pieces at the same time, and if the preview text looks like an automated robot, the trust you build is gone. All of these mistakes share the same problem because they don't feel like a real person reaching out for a real reason. The fix for your low open rates is not a better template, and it's not a new trick. You need to ask a different question before you hit send. Instead of asking what subject line gets the most opens, you should ask what a real person will write if they had a real reason to talk to you. Specificity is the only thing that makes an email feel true to the person reading it. If you use a subject line like "cold email plus AI," you are telling the prospect nothing about what you are reaching out in the inbox today. That is just a category or a broad topic, but it's not a reason to have a conversation. A better approach is to name a specific pain like missing positive replies because that is a problem a person either has or they don't. If they have that problem, they will open your email to see if you can help. And if they don't have it, they probably were not going to buy from you anyway. The real job of a subject line is to filter in the right person while making sure the wrong person ignores it. You can use industry language to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. A phrase like "landed in primary" means almost nothing to someone who doesn't work in sales, but it means everything to a person running outbound sequences every day. That specific question signals that you actually know what they deal with on a Tuesday morning. You are not trying to explain their own job to them because you already understand the struggle. That creates a very different feeling than a subject line that tries to be clever or catchy for a general audience that doesn't care. Buzzwords will kill the signal faster than anything else you do. Words like AI, smart automation, growth, and scale are used by every single one of your competitors until they stop meaning anything at all. When a prospect sees AI power outreach in their inbox, that word doesn't tell them what changed or why it matters to their business. You should replace those empty words with the actual problem you solve or the outcome you provide. Don't say "smarter prospecting" when you could say "clear research question." And don't say "scale your outreach" when you could say "reply sorting." The more specific your language is, the more you sound like an expert who knows exactly what they're talking about. Relevance beats being clever every single time you try it. A boring subject line that names a real problem your prospect has will always perform better than a witty one that doesn't connect to anything urgent. Being clever might make you memorable after the person deletes the email, but being relevant is what actually gets the open. Timing changes the math on all of this too. When there is a real pain happening in the market right now, such as a tool shutting down or a major platform changing its rules, you can be much more direct. The urgency is already there in their head, so you don't need to try to manufacture it yourself. In those specific moments, leading with an offer can work well, but that only happens when the timing is perfect and the relevance is undeniable. That is the exception to the rule. And if you try to fake that urgency when it's not real, the prospect will feel it immediately and lose trust. Examples that work best for me follow the same logic from start to finish. I use lines like quick check, catch alls, reply sorting, or missing positive replies. None of these lines are clever, and none of them use the person's name to try and trick them. They don't explain what I do or pitch what I sell before the person even opens the mail. They just name something specific enough that the right person recognizes the value while the wrong person stays away. That is the whole model for success. You want it short, specific, and free of buzzwords. No forced personalization and no signals that an AI wrote it for you. That is what actually works.